friends, and welcome to our final tool talk presented by Abby, Amanda, and Heather. Today the tools we will be presenting are UDL Cast Exchange, QR codes, Cast Science Writer, Ant, Web 2.0, and Spritz. I will be starting by presenting UDL Cast Exchange. So I'm going to screen share the site, and this is the UDL Cast Exchange site, and we have actually used this before in our assignments to create a lesson, so all of us should be familiar with the website. But basically what you can do is it's a website tool for teachers where you can look through lessons such as, let me log in momentarily. You can look through lessons to find different things. So if I was looking for an English lesson, I wanted it to be somewhere between 2nd and 3rd grade or 4th grade, and I wanted it to be about a Common Core standard, which I will just pick at random, or maybe not. We'll ignore that for now. But you can look through Common Core standards, and it just basically shows a bunch of different lessons. You can create your own lessons with this website, and you can, like I've created 2 lessons with this site. So I created one on projectiles and mass, and you have different sections that you fill in, and they use Common Core standards, so the Common Core standards are there to match up with. You have the goals listed, there's set assessments listed, you can do your entire lesson plan right here real quick, and then materials as well. And this has a nice function. You can also submit feedback, and you can also, while you're editing, you can record yourself talking about what is happening. And so if someone were to use your lesson, you could just record real quick about what you think is important for them to know, as well as information that they might not have realized from doing this lesson. So like if they were doing a lesson on their own, they might not have realized that this is a key facet to the lesson, and you can just inform them by recording or writing a small note that says that. So I think it's a great tool for the classroom, especially for teachers, because it allows them to have ideas for lessons as well as create their own based on those ideas.
Yeah, I definitely think that website's like strictly for teachers, not really. Yeah. It doesn't have anything to do with students really, besides what they're going to be doing in the classroom. And I like that you can share your ideas of your lessons, like, to everyone.
Yeah, because it's nice to have some ideas, especially as beginning teachers. I know I'm always really nervous about lessons that I haven't written yet, and I don't know what I'm going to do based on different standards, so I like that you can look it up based on the standards and go from there.
Yeah, that's nice.
Okay, so next.
Even though I learned about it in like.
What were you saying, Amanda? I'm sorry.
Sorry. Even though I learned about this semester, I've actually used it in like all my other classes to create lessons. So.
That's awesome. I like that you know someone that actually uses it. Okay, so Heather will be now presenting QR codes.
Okay, so QR codes are quick response codes that are 2-dimensional barcodes that can be read using smartphones, tablets, or any other like QR reading devices. They link directly to articles, emails, websites, videos, and all you have to do is scan the code using a device which can be downloaded for free. And it is also possible to generate your own QR codes. The QR technology provides many benefits for both the students and the teachers. So the QR code allows access to an abundance of information with the click of a button. So actually I'm going to show you how it works. What is it? QR code? Okay, so can you see the screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so all you have to do is insert a website or an address. So I just did a YouTube, and all you do is click Generate Code. And if I scroll down here, this is the code that a student or a teacher you'd scan in order to get to the information. I can't physically scan it for you right now because it would show up on something else. But that's pretty much all you do. It's really simple, and it's nice that it's free. The use of the QR codes are enhancing student engagement. Students are constantly engaged because they're able to find the information using technology in a different way that most of them probably have never actually done before. Instead of the students reading a stack of papers, they can find the information online, which promotes self-learning and is more engaging in the end. The QR codes are rather simple to use, which helps teachers keep their students on task without having to constantly help the students out every second. I've actually seen this in my placement before. My mentor uses this like all the time when they're using the iPads. The entire 5th grade shares one set of iPads and laptops, so it depends on the day if the students are able to use the QR codes. They use the iPads to find the QR codes about a certain person in history who made like a difference, and all the students were extremely excited to find out information on the person that they chose because everyone had a different person. So in the end, they were able to share their information that no one else had. The only problem I can see that could happen is the teacher may not have access to the iPads on that particular day, even though the lesson would benefit greatly using the QR code scanners, or the students could become off task after finding the information by liking or looking up other things on the internet. So it just depends on your classroom management also.
I really like that. I think that's a great way to integrate technology in the classroom. The main concern I had was basically what you said about kids getting distracted because you have no way of knowing when they're doing what they're doing without constant supervision. And that's something that isn't always easy to do when you have a whole class of students doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, exactly. If there's only one teacher in the classroom, you can't really have your eyes on every single student.
Right. Have you ever seen anything like this implemented in the classroom?
Yeah, my teacher definitely uses this all the time when they're allowed to have the iPads. Like I said, the whole 5th grade shares their iPads, so it's kind of hard for her to get them on the day that she wants them because I think she only was allowed to have the iPads, I think, twice a week. But it was only during certain times also, so if it didn't match up with the subject she wanted to use it for, it was kind of an inconvenience.
So it would be a lot of planning.
Exactly. You'd have to plan around a lot of time, too.
Amanda mentioned that she was having technical difficulties, so if Amanda would like to say something once our voices match up with our faces.
Okay, so I actually saw this. My teacher and her team, her 5th grade team, actually gave students QR codes, and they had to solve the math problem, and then they have to go to a certain teacher to get the QR code, and they scan the code, and it would give them the correct answer. So if they thought they were right, they could go and get the answer. And it was a maze. They had to go through the whole team area to collect all the answers.
That's so cool.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to get students to use technology without it being overwhelming, because all they're doing is really scanning, and then they have the information right in front of them, so they don't have to surf the web to find out the information. It's right there for them, and also it's another way to keep them on task because the teachers know if they scan the code, they're right where they need to be.
Right. Yeah, I really like that. I think that's a cool way to add some active uses of technology because sometimes it's not just active. Sometimes, when you're doing the lesson and it's on the smartboard, it's not completely active because they're just watching you do it. So having them work with the lesson with the QR codes is a really interesting way to integrate that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so now Amanda will be talking about CAS Science Writer.
Okay, so I did the CAS Science Writer. Let me pull up the website. So to actually look through this website, you have to sign up. I already signed up. So let me log in. Basically, this is writing a hypothesis or a prediction in a science class. So it's used specifically for science lessons. And again, because it's the CAST program, they have the little animals that are there to help the students as they go. So they name their project, and then they find the they decide what they wanted, a research question or hypothesis. And then for their report, they either choose an introduction or a thesis. And they just go through and they decide what they want for each. So then they go to the next part. So after they name all of them, the program takes them through each section, and they write their hypothesis, and then they write their thesis and their procedures and the results. And for each section, the student has to write it, like write a draft, and then they have to have somebody revise it in another section, and then again they have to edit it, and then the program will be like, "Are you sure?" So like this one's like a draft, and they go to the next one, and it'll be a revise and edit. So for each section of their report, and it's all over here, they have to go through and write a draft, revise it, and then edit it so that they know it's all good. And little Eco, I guess it's his name, over here he has like questions like make sure your hypothesis statement is what you will do and what will happen. Make sure it's brief. So it's like little tools and hints over here. So the whole program's just like building a science hypothesis or research question, and I think it's more geared towards middle and high school because that's when they like get into specific science classes, but you could still use it with like an elementary school.
I like that.
Any questions?
Did we see a tool that was kind of like this earlier in one of the other Hangouts? I felt like
wasn't it the book builder?
Yeah, I did the book builder, and it's like you build your book and you go through.
Yeah, because it had the same like Eco's hints or Max's results, and I think
it's made by the same people. But
oh, okay, that makes sense.
I liked that it had stuff like that with like the Eco's hints and the Max's results, because I know I don't always like to raise my hand and ask questions, and I really didn't like asking questions when I was in school. So having something right there that I can just click on and it's going to tell me what's going on and what I should be doing and how I should be doing it is a nice reference point.
Yeah, and I also think that it's
and with like the little.
What were you saying, Amanda?
Sorry. The little animals. They have like the hints, but they also have like examples of like what Max the dog wrote or like Sam the penguin wrote. Doesn't know how to write it or what to write. They can go and click on Max's or Sam's report, and it'll show a clear example of what like is that part of the.
Yeah, I liked that. Yeah, I liked that it had examples and everything.
Yeah, and I also think it's a good way to keep the students' work organized because it's all online. If they need to edit it, then it's right there instead of having to pass all the papers back out or.
Yeah, exactly. It's quick. It's quicker that way. So like you could have them do it Monday, edit it Tuesday, and then submit Wednesday. You could have Thursday where they do another project, and then Friday it could be back to them because you had Thursday and Friday-ish to like comment on it and say what you thought about it.
Yeah.
All right, so that was Cass Science Writer, and now Heather will be talking about ANT.
Okay, so Video Ant is a free tool where students or teachers view and they annotate videos. Video Ant works by selecting a specific video while teachers or students annotate them as they watch the video. This pretty much means you make comments alongside the video. After completing the video, your comments will be emailed to you. And Video Ant is compatible with all YouTube videos and other files that fit the requirements of like the downloading. I tried to look up the different requirements needed to like upload the videos. I couldn't find them, but it says most videos work with the Video Ant. So I'll show you how it works. Okay, so all you do is you click you have to sign in, but it's free. And all you do is click the new Ant. And then you could use the YouTube videos under your account, or you could look up the YouTube video. So I have a link here. So you just plug in the link, and you click load. And then after it loads, it has directions here. And all you do is you click play, and then if you wanted to make an annotation, you click this button, and then you would write out your comment on that part of the video. So, and you would do that along the entire YouTube video, and then at the end, your results will be emailed to you. So the Video Ant is a free tool where students or teachers view the annotated videos. And the Video Ant will enhance students' ability to stay engaged, and it requires students to pay close attention without getting distracted. This is because as the video continues, if the student isn't paying attention, they might miss a major part of the video or not annotate where the annotating is needed. It'll also allow students to work together after annotating the video, because then they can have an in-depth conversation as to what they saw, because they will have those annotations about the video like immediately. I've never seen this in my placement before, but I have seen my teacher put a video up on the screen and the students take notes about the video. I think the tool will create a more engaging process because students are able to interact with the technology and are able to stop the video when needed, so no matter what, they pay attention the entire time, unlike what happens when students are asked to take notes on like a movie or a video. They have to write something down, but they can't pause the video because everyone's watching, not just them. I don't really see any problems a teacher could run into unless they don't have an adequate amount of iPads or laptops students could use. And in the end, the teacher would be able to know whether or not the student paid attention to the video according to his or her annotations.
That reminded me of a technology that you presented earlier in the semester. I can't remember the name of it right now.
I think it might have been Zaption.
Yeah, it had a similar concept where you had the videos and you can like put a caption.
The Zaption was allowed like teachers to ask questions throughout the video, so the students would answer them. And this is the same concept. I guess you could, if you were a teacher, you could write out questions throughout the video and have the students write about them. But I feel like this is more toward like students just stopping the video, taking note instead of having to write it down. But that's how I viewed it.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting how many technologies are out there that are so similar but have different purposes overall, and you can find different purposes for each one.
Yeah, exactly. It's a nice, you get a nice mix of everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Amanda, did you have any comments?
It's like that project we did. Yeah, it's like that project we did with the picture, and we put like the things inside the picture. But I mean, it's like the video, but it's just like with an image instead of a video. But I think the video is like more hands-on for like students.
And we could even integrate
like that
our digital storytelling. Like we could do the video that we had, and then we could have comments that we thought about it. So like incorporating our TED Ed project where we had our lesson, you could use the video and then put captions next to it, like this is an important point, make sure you're paying attention, or like what do you think about this point, make sure you write a note about this point, or etc.
Yeah, exactly. That would benefit the teacher a lot and students.
Yeah, definitely. Especially because I know a lot of, like, when you learn to read, a lot of the information in a text is not going to be imperative to what you're reading. And especially, like, with math problems, too. Like, you end up scratching out half the problem to find out what's important. So, like, this shows what's important.
Yes.
All right, so next Amanda is going to be presenting Web 2.0.
Okay, so Web 2.0 is sponsored or geared to, by Discovery Education, and it's like a little thing within Discovery Education. So let me pull up the website. Okay, so it's actually just a list of tools that you can use. And there's different like sections called presentation tools, video tools, mobile tools, community tools, and then like other tools. So we have presentation tools, and you like click on it, and it takes you to another part of the site where it's like all the different presentation tools that you can use. And what I thought was funny that like this little comment, but I've already mastered PowerPoint. So like now that everybody knows about PowerPoint, there's all these other ways to present. So like Prezi, I know I use Prezi, but I've never heard of like PixViewer or Slideshow. And then if you go to video tools, it does the same thing with video, like different ways to make videos. It's basically just like online apps for creating and like finding new ways to present things and then like being able to share them. So it just gives you, like, I know Prezi you can share what you use. So this whole, here it is. So like these are different ways to create videos, and all these links that you see are free. So like the teachers can use them, the students can use them at home. And then the mobile tools is what I like, because it's like the apps that students can either put on their iPads or on their phones, and they can this is kind of like that that tool that Heather shared, where you can create like I think it was the Heather shared with the little multiple choice questions.
Yeah, I did share that.
It's called Poll Everywhere. And it's like you get polls and responses from different people in your class. So it's just like a bunch of different tools that students can use. That's it.
So it's pretty much a website with just tools that teachers or students can use like in the classroom. That's all it really.
Yeah, it's just a resource. Yeah.
That's nice to have it all in one spot.
Yeah. And like you could use that in your classroom by saying like, all right, now that we've like, if you've mastered PowerPoint, like it said on there, you could use that to be like, well, now that we've mastered PowerPoint, we're going to be working on a different kind of slideshow aspect. So we're going to be talking about how you can do different slideshows. Here's a list of 3 slideshows on this website. You can pick any one, but you have to become a master of it and explain the benefits, etc. of it. So then that way kids are like more experienced with the technology.
Yeah, all the things on there, all the tools on there and all the resources on there have like been recommended by teachers, and they're all free. So like you don't have to pay for them, and you don't. I mean, you may have to like log into an account or something, but they're all free.
Yeah, that's really nice. All right, I like that a lot. Okay, so I will be presenting the last one, and our last one is called Spritz. So I'm going to just screen share so you guys can see the website for Spritz, because it is actually a it's a plugin that you can use. So I'll just show you right here. This is the front page for it, and it says click to Spritz. So I'll just press play, and if you can see, it shows how you can read through just watching one word at a time. And this is a really cool plugin that you can use on your computer. So if I scroll down, it shows how you can do this. So you can integrate it into your classroom. You can have the website pulled up, and like it shows here that there's textbooks pulled up, and they highlight different aspects of the textbook. You can do social media posts, because it's going to have the picture, and then you can cycle through the words that you want people to read. And let's see. So there's a scientific explanation behind why Spritz works, because it's showing one word per second or millisecond. So it has, like, the one that we started off with 250 words per minute. Basically, it works on how fast your brain can recognize words, as long as they're just one word per millisecond. So you can read faster when your brain is just looking at that one word, rather than looking at a bunch of words per page. So I think this would be a really good tool for students who are struggling with reading or students who might have dyslexia, because it slows it down for them and then gradually increases as the student gets better at reading. And I've actually seen similar things in the classroom, and I've seen it in my own personal life because I like to read like this. I think it's a really interesting technique to be able to read with. So.
Yeah, I actually have dyslexia, and when I was growing up, I had to do this kind of type thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so it really does help. That's a great website and tool for people who have reading disabilities.
Yeah, and I didn't show you, I'll show you again. There is an entire page, and it's called Get Spritz, and it shows all of the different ways you can use this. So you can have it as a plugin on like Google Chrome or any internet browser. There is stuff on iOS. There's different apps that incorporate it. Like there's a EPUB reader that you can have downloaded. There's a speed reading app that it mentions that it costs money, and it also mentions these ones are free. This one is free. You can have Wikipedia with it. You can do Rapid Reader with it. And then there's also Android applications, Windows Phone applications, the Galaxy S5, the Gear 2, websites that have Spritz included. So it's a really, really great way to show how many ways you can include this app in the program.
Yeah, it's a good app to have in the classroom just because it has so many different uses.
Yeah. Okay. So that's going to be it for our broadcast. Thank you for joining us for our final Tool Talk, and have a great summer.